What's good, y'all? It's your boy Mixtape Moth, and today I'm going to hit y'all with my quick thoughts on Billboard's top 50 hip-hop group. Now, recently, Rolling Stones have compiled their 100 greatest East Coast hip-hop songs, and the list was really bad. Like, I'm talking, it was complete trash. But for some strange reason, I was still curious to see what Billboard's top 50 groups would look like. Now, there's oftentimes some confusion surrounding what constitutes a group. There's usually some gray area over the difference between a duo and a group. However, many duos have been listed as actual groups for a long time on major publications, so I'm not really hung up on the semantics there. The only issue I have is when a collective is listed as a group and they're clearly a collective. And one last thing before I jump into this list, I wasn't expecting Billboard to list more underground groups like, let's say, a Camp Low, the Artifacts, the Beatnuts, Alcoholics, etc. Look, y'all already know I love those kinds of groups, but when you are dealing with Billboard, you quickly understand that they are more focused on things like sales and overall impact, right or wrong. So getting right into this list, at number 50, they have MOP. I'm glad MOP made the list, but they could have been higher. At 49, they have Black Star, which I'm actually okay with. For 48, they have City Girls. Wait, nah, City Girls. There they go, pandering and being prisoners of the moment. At 47 is Ray Shremmerd. So look, I actually don't dislike Ray Shremmerd, and I'm not really upset with them being listed here, given their 2010 material. At 46 is Yin Yang Twins. I mean, I guess looking at the sales back in that era. At 45 is Pete Rock and CL Smooth. Okay, no, that is too low. At 44 is Criss Cross. I actually don't mind this placement since I did rock with Criss Cross. At 43 is Kid and Play. I guess that's cool. At 42 is Heavy D and the Boys. I actually like this. For 41, they have Little Brother. So I'm glad Little Brother made the list, and I don't think it's a bad placement overall. For number 40, they have Onyx. Okay, I'd have them higher, but I'm happy they weren't excluded. 39 is Slum Village, and I'm okay with this. At 38 is Big Timers, which I'm also fine with. At 37 is A-Ball and MJG. Nah, they done messed up here. As I'm a huge Ball and G fan, they definitely should have been in the top 20. Number 36 is Hieroglyphics. Look, I love Hyro, but they're clearly a collective, and by putting collectives into the group list, it is a slippery slope, because then I'd have to ask, well, where's Boot Camp? Where's DITC? So instead of listing Hyro as a group, they should have put in Souls of Mischief. 35 is The Far Side, which I think is a good pick. I also like Brand Nubian at 34 and Goody Mob at 33. Two Live Crew at 32 is acceptable. Also, BDP isn't awful at 31. I'm surprised the Clips is listed at 30. I figured they would have been much higher. Gangstar at 29, no, that's way too low, as they are a top 20 group, no question. The same could be said for the Ghetto Boys. They are a top 10 to 15 group without a doubt. At 27 is DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince, which is a little high, I'm thinking. EPMD at 26. Way too low. They're a top 10 to 15 group, undoubtedly. 25 is the Hot Boys, and I'm actually okay with that. Diplomats at 24. That's a little low, but I suppose it could have been worse. The Sugar Hill Gang is listed at 23, but I don't have really any issues. Now, the Locks at 22. Oh, man, that's going to anger some heads, man. I already know there are some folks in the Boom Bap Nation that are probably ready to break their computer screen seeing that. Yeah, the Locks at 22 is not a good look. At 21 is Bone. Damn, that is way too low, especially when you consider Bone's impact and just overall sales. At 20 is UGK. Should have been higher, but I am happy they made the top 20. So I'm actually okay with G Unit being listed at number 19, but really this should have been a spot for the Locks. 3 6 Mafia at 18 that's too low, considering their influence. I'd have them in the top 10 to 15. But I actually feel they got the following four right. Cypress Hill was 17. Beastie Boys at 16, Naughty by Nature at 15, and Fugees at 14. I understand Fugees for the sales, but sometimes a group like Naughty by Nature or Cypress Hill might get overlooked. But I am glad that they did make the list. Mobb Deep at 13 is bound to ruffle some feathers. I mean, I would have them higher, but it's not a terrible placement, all things considered. At number 12 is Grandmaster Flash and the Furious 5. Okay, cool. At number 11 is the Migos. Wait, hold up. Number 11 is the Migos? Nah, you can't have Migos ahead of Bone and 3 6 Mafia. That's just crazy. You can't. This one is for sure gonna enrage traditionalists. But I do think that Migos are deserving of a top 25, top 30 spot, no doubt, considering their domination during the 2010s. Whether you like it or not, but within the top 15, nah. And the Roots are 10. Look, I love the Roots, but honestly, I probably would have put 3 6 here. For number 5, they have De La Soul, which is great. I also don't mind Salt and Pepper at number 8 as female pioneers. Probably still a little higher, though. I'm cool with Eric B. and Rakim at 7, and even Public Enemy at 6 isn't bad. Now, Run-DMC is listed at number 5, but they probably should be in the top 3, if not the top spot, as pioneers and game changers. Tribe Called Quest at 4 makes sense. I think NWA at number 3 is a solid pick. Wu-Tang at number 2. I mean, it is hard to argue against that, but I might be a little biased considering that's really my generation. And for the number 1 slot, Billboard picked Outkast, which is a polarizing pick. Now, as much as I rock with Outkast, I would have definitely put an 80s group like Run-DMC at number 1. Sure, Billboard could have selected a worse number 1 pick, but this will likely trigger some folks who prefer less experimental and more traditional East Coast groups. So overall, it's not a great list, but they got a few things right. I'd have to say it wasn't as trash as the Rolling Stones ones have been. That being said, Billboard definitely dropped the ball by including City Girls. That was awful. And they messed up by including a collective. Also not including the Lox, the Ghetto Boys, Bone, and Gangstar in the top 20 is crazy. Also, the Migos placement was super wild too. Yeah, actually, this was a bad list. I'd say the only saving grace here was that it did include most of the main and important, more mainstream groups. They weren't left out, so that was cool. It's just the placement, especially getting to the top 20, was highly questionable. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section. It's your boy Mixtape Moth. Please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. As always, it's peace and blessings. Billboard's top 50 hip-hop groups.